What's up, everybody? This is your girl Ericka from the Classy Climb blog. Haven't seen you guys in a while. Hope you're doing well today. We are in Dallas, Texas. There's a Black Man Summit going on, and also the state fairs here. And also, I just got back from Panama, so lots of great activities. But these were questions in the comment section and also on the community wall when I posted about foreign companies investing in Cleveland and old Detroit, and also why there is no real estate crash. I know you guys hate that because you're thinking it'll crash, it'll fall, and all these questions, but let's get into them. If you're first time here, my name is Ericka Williams of the Classy Climb blog. I just came back from hosting my first international tour in Panama City, Panama, where I took 30 investors out to work directly with developers, not even with me, but just actually with developers. And it was a blast. It was a wonderful opportunity, and we will be doing more of them in 2023. As far as Panama will be in March 29th through April 4th. Zanzibar will be July 17th through 22nd. We also have Dominican Republic on the dock, Belize, and also Croatia and Greece. But we will be in Panama much more now that we have an investment there. So let's go ahead and get into some of the questions that were in the comments. 20% returns on housing. And someone said, is that flips and fix? Is that rentals? Listen, the national standard on the low level is 20% on just rentals. There are countless online calculators that you can go pick up and download for free or actually purchase to show you this numbers. And you can do these numbers with just about any range of numbers, right? So let's go ahead and hit, why do people keep investing in Detroit, Cleveland, Ohio, Columbus, Ohio, the Midwest, some of these towns that don't seem to be very much thriving, St. Louis, Missouri, all these places? It's for the 20 to 30% return, sometimes 20 to 40% returns. Prime example, 50K property, 10% down. You're talking about 10K down. That's right. So the rental could be $850 to $1,000, depending on what the Section 8 is or what that area for that property provides. 850 times 12 is $10,200. You just made 100% return on your down payment, right? If you did it that way. But also, if you didn't do it down payment, if you did the whole thing cash, $10,000 gross, not net, of course, is 20% returns on your money. Now, that property is going to pay for itself in 5 years. That's 20% returns over and over and over. I mean, we can bump this math up to a $100,000, 100K duplex. The math is still there. Still 20 to 25% returns consistently on real estate. The only area where you have funny cap rates are in apartments and multifamily. So a lot of you may be getting overly confused as you're watching a lot of different YouTubers, a lot of bigger pockets, you're listening to countless broadcasts, but the math has always been 20, 30, 40% returns on real estate, hands down. It's why if you look in a town, there's always 4 or 5 big names that own all the properties in town. That's why you look at colleges buy up all the properties around the campus. It's very simple math. So again, when people ask, what 20% returns where? On the standard property is 20% returns. Most people don't go over 150,000 to consider rentals. Now you may say, Ericka, I live in California. I live in New York. Rentals where we are $500,000. They're, $1 million, right? I'm in Australia. There some crazy answer one of you going to respond, and that's fine. Even in Panama and any place in Dominican Republic, $500,000 investment properties still gave you 8 to 10% returns. So what is 10% returns on a $500,000 property? You're talking about $50,000, and that's short-term investing, right? Short-term rentals, high turnover. Let's say you did longer-term investing, you may get closer to the 8%, right? So you're talking about properties that are going to produce you anywhere from 20 to 30K a year. One investment property producing you 20 to 30K a year is life-changing. So many people say, well, what about the mortgage? What about again, these are all factors to add in. Again, we're talking about gross, not net. So a lot of times folks go buy one rental and your life changes. And that's because it really does. You do get 20% returns on your money. But you have to make sure you're in an area where tenants can pay, your property manager can enforce things. And eventually you get to a point where you're tired of buying D and C properties where you start going to A and B properties. Number 2 question we saw in the chat. Who wants to buy in a subdivision with large rentals owned by mostly out-of-shore companies? Let me say it again. Who wants to buy in a subdivision with large rentals owned by out-of-state companies? Easy. It happens every day in America 10 times over, right? Great. If you got a great school system and people want to be in that school system, they're going to buy a house in that neighborhood. They don't care how many rentals in the neighborhood. Number two, is it close to their job? People don't care about that. Is it close to my job? Can I afford it? Right? That's their number 1, 2, 3 thought processes. Number three is, what is the safety factors, right? Because a lot of times people say, oh, neighborhoods with a lot of rentals are dangerous. Well, I can show you countless neighborhoods in Austin that have huge numbers of rentals that are right beside Apple, right beside Dell, no crime. This is a myth, right? People are like, what about my neighbors kind of mentality, which is good for them to have, but trust me, like they're worried about the property values going down because there's so many rentals, and that just isn't as true anymore. Number three, a crash will happen. Folks want guaranteed returns. This is something I saw in the comments and it kind of cracked me up, and I'm like, and they will get them. Hands down, they will get them, whether they go start pivoting and investing more in auctions, pivoting and buying pre-foreclosure. Again, what happened to wholesalers when the market started getting tight? If they're in Texas, they went to the auction, right? And they saw people who were on the auction list the next 30 to 60, 90 days. And they went to those people and say, hey, listen, I can buy your house so you don't have to go through 1 through foreclosure and 2 through auction. I can save you that headache if you just go ahead and sell to me now. There will always be ways to make money in the market and move around the market. This is just something when I hear these comments from novice and especially from older folks who don't have any experience in real estate, but yet come on YouTube and pretend they do, it kind of cracks me up because the math and the numbers just don't support it. Number 4, house sits empty. It still needs care, right? This is true. Someone made this comment. This is why they have property preservation companies. And if you're a student of the rise of the 20% class, go back and listen to Lamar, go back and listen to his video on property preservation. He did a whole hour and 30-minute deep dive into property preservation, how his company made millions for years after the 2008 crash. Because again, people think, oh, it's a crash. No one's making money. There are going to be people who make money in a crash, not in a crash, in regular times, and good times and bad times. It depends on your mindset. The other day we were at the state fair and I said, oh man, do you guys have brick and mortar or a food truck? Oh, I wouldn't open a brick and mortar in the middle of a recession, in the middle of a depression. And I'm like, you're in Dallas, Texas. Stop it. You're in Dallas, Texas. Depending on where you park this food truck, you're fine. Depending on where you open that store, you're fine. This is the mentality. It's up here. Oh, it's a depression. Depression for who? When you see these airports is bustling like this, when you see these car rental places are bustling like this, again, it's in the mind. It's in the mind, right? So again, houses that simply, the taxes still will get paid. They may have reduced taxes, but their taxes will still get paid. These companies still have to pay taxes into cities, into places. If they don't pay taxes, as in Detroit, 3rd year not paying no taxes, they coming to get that house. Now, let's say you live there. Oh, my older grandma lives there and she didn't pay taxes. No problem. They know you have homestead extensions. You had extensions if there's elderly there, where they lock in their taxes for like the next 10, 20 years. There's a lot of ways around this stuff that people are giving you very novice answers on because they don't know any better. You know, I don't know everything, and I'll make that very clear, but I always encourage you to do what? Come join these classes I put out that give you the game, that bring on countless speakers and talkers. The rise of 20%, I even have the 75% off code LEMONS. But if you go watch at least 10 of the interviews out of the 45 interviews on inside that course, there's no way you're not making money. Anybody who's taking any of my courses and they're like, oh, I'm not making money, I go, show me your work. Show me where you did the calls. Show me where you did the legwork. Show me where you did the work that I put in the courses. They won't show it to you because they didn't do it. They didn't even finish the class. That's probably what the problem is. So that's just that. I'm just saying, if you want to learn more about property preservation, there's just one video inside the rise of 20% where Lamar Jackson busts down from bidding process to where you go, what websites, all that. Because there's always this question, well, you put this video out a couple years ago. Is it still vibrant? The information we put on these videos out here could be 20 years old. It's still 100% game because the principles of finance, the principle of real estate are pretty much sound, and they've been sound for thousands of years. All right. Okay. Number 5, housing will slow down because there's not enough investors. Again, incorrect answer. Incorrect. Absolutely incorrect. America is one of the most unique marketplaces in the world. This is why when people say, Ericka, how sad of you thinking only people can get rich in America. Half of the world's millionaires created last year were created in America. Go look it up. This is a news article. This is breaking news. Half the millionaires created last year in the world came out of America. So when people try to convince you, I can make it in Singapore, I can make it in Belize, I can make it in Colombia, I can make it all. Sure, you can make it anywhere in the world. Will you make it as fast or as easy as in America? No. Will you flip and go crazy as in America? No. We have a credit system that's hands down completely different than most of the world. The Tinder scandal. That dude had all those credit cards in Israel. It put Israel on the map all of a sudden. Like, why are all this American Express and credit card fraud going on in Israel? Israel is a big investor where? In America, in New York. Where are people getting this money from? But that's another conversation for another day. I ain't trying to be like Kanye out on these internets, okay? So again, when this whole myth of the housing must slow down, there's not that many investors. That's incorrect. Cleveland is full of out-of-state international companies that come in, they buy the foreign LLC, and they buy a property, and they get their 20 to 30% returns, and their country is great for it. Why? Because right now in Ireland has such restrictive, hardcore, oppressive to the landlord laws that landlords just said, bump it, I sell, or I won't rent it all. And so now you got people, I think it's 520 people to one property looking to rent in Ireland. So they're having to live in the middle of nowhere, or have to live many people inside of a house piled up on top of each other in Ireland because the government want to be oppressive to landlords. Well, then you'll have nowhere to live. And they mean that shit. That's the real truth of it. Like, okay, cool. You won't have anywhere to live. Ericka, people always have somewhere to live. No, they will not. Okay. So number 6, investors left holding the bag. ROI on property not worth it. According to who? Again, according to you, because you want to flip 20K from a PPP loan to make it crazy. ROI from property will always come, whether it's from you or a different management company. You know, we sold one of our properties in South Carolina, and trust me, they're gonna have a great time with it. They might manage it 10x better than I could have ever managed it. Do you know what I'm saying? Same thing as we have pending properties, you know, offers at least for the properties in Detroit. Those people are not listed. Oh, I had such a bad time in Detroit. They don't care. They're gonna operate it and manage it completely different than I will. And this is the confusion I know a lot of you are experiencing because you're uneducated in how real estate works, and that's okay. We're gonna help you. The ROI will always be for somebody. Number 6, I had to write these down. Y'all have so many questions. Banks will tighten, plus lots of folks unemployed and underemployed. This is right. A lot of people are saying, I can't wait for the crash. Oh man, these house prices are going down. It's gonna be so great. No, if there's a crash like you predict there's a crash, that means there's massive unemployment. There's massive people underemployed. And if you think you couldn't get approved by a bank now, you certainly won't be approved in the next 2 to 3 years. I've already told you on this channel countless times. You can go look this up for yourself. There's multiple studies that show the average person switches jobs every 2.5 years. The bank wants to see you at a job for what? 3 years. 3+ years. So if the average person's leaving jobs every other year, most of you won't qualify anyway unless you have huge down payments. Right? And this is where, again, that cheap real estate purchases or land purchases come into the play. Right? So what will happen? Yes, banks will tighten, but then there will be those capital companies that will give you the loan, but they're going to give you the loan at shark money prices. Still meeting people with 13% on their mortgage. And I'm like, why would you do that? But again, people make decisions why they want to do that. So again, this whole, I can't wait for the prices to lower is comical. It's comedy. All right, number 7, home builders. This is the thing. Home builders are going to run out of money. Home builders are stepping. There's a guy who makes lots of money here on YouTube, basically saying 180 degree. Basically, he's lying. I don't care. Y'all can come for me, but he's lying. Everything he's saying is lying. He lived in Austin, then he moved to Dallas because he couldn't impress girls in Austin. Now he's in Dallas telling the same old lies, and everything's crashing, and home builders are walking away, and the most insane things that if you know anything past a bare bones basic introduction to home building and how builders work and how people make money in building, that you know this guy, everything he's saying is wrong. Like, you can read half his comments, they're like, dude, you're off, you're wrong. Like, I know builders, what are you talking about? So again, home builders will offer discounts in bulk, but not to you. They will give it to investors. This is a whole section called build to rent. There's a whole section in construction right now, and loans and commercial loans called build to rent, where they're building these properties. They don't expect a regular home buyer to come buy it. They're building it to rent. So that means they're in a position where they build it with materials so cheap that they can either hold it, their company holds it, has equity, has money on the books, and they rent it out through various companies, of course, or they're putting it in a way that investors can come buy them in bulk. There's a whole development in Austin, South Austin, that got bought up, like 600 homes. The whole development is rentals. Why? Because they know you don't want to live in apartments. You want to live in a home. You want to show your friends you got a home. You want to progressively move to a home, but you don't want to progressively make more money or save money to buy a home. They already know that about you. They already know about you. You're delaying getting married. You're delaying getting better jobs. You're delaying having kids. You're delaying all these things. So you will also delay buying a home. So by the time you meet somebody who's, oh, I'm buying my first home. How old are you? 62. Okay, you're buying the home for your grandchildren and your children? Because you might do 20 years. You may do 40. And live a long life. I don't know. You may be 107 when you pass. But ultimately, that home buying purchase is a incentive for somebody in their 20s and 30s to have low mortgage versus rent. So again, there's a whole conversation there. Now, again, this is what I'm going to close it out with. But let's just do some basic math. Again, if you buy the land lot, again, this is where spec construction comes in. This is where the whole Andy buys houses. This is where the whole Jerome Montanalo. This is where I've been moving to 100 degrees, running to, because of the math and the basic numbers and the logic. 20K land lot cost me 180 to build it. I'm selling it for 320. Oh, Ericka, nobody wants to buy it for that much. No problem. I drop it at 250. I still walk away at 50K profit. Well, Ericka, what if you can't walk away with 50K profit? Well, what if I cash out refi it? Then I'm gonna walk away with $256,000 cash in my pocket from the closing table, and I'm gonna take that money and put it on another project. That's how that works. And then they keep rolling it over and over again. So let's say I build 2 houses like that in 1 year. That's $500,000. This is why you see these smaller companies, these smaller guys complaining about permits and how the big boys are blocking them on permits. Because they know that they can come in like little snipers and buy 1 or 2, 3 or 4. Let's just be honest. 4 land lots in a year still walk away with $1 million. Go look at your local sports team and see whose name is on the billboards. It's home builders. Don't believe me? Go look it up. Construction companies and home builders. Go look it up. Let's say more expensive land. Say Florida, 50K, and it cost me $250K to build the property. Well, its valuation is going to be somewhere near $500,000 to $600,000. Let's say $600,000. That means I walk away with $300K in profit. I hope I'm not losing you. Or let's say I had to drop prices because there's this crash, and I sell it for $400,000. I only built it and put the land in for $300,000, so I still walk away with $100K profit. Do you get the math? Now let's say I cash out refi it. It's valued at $600,000. I cash out refi for $80,000. That's $480,000. I go and go do more projects. I maybe take half the money, go live. Half the money, go pay off debt. The other half, go start more projects, right? A person could keep building 1 or 2 houses a year for the rest of their life. Or build 1 apartment complex. And they're Gucci. Right? Again, that's why Jerome Montanalo tells children, you can go do whatever you want. You want to be ballerinas, you want to be actors, you want to be stars. No problem as long as you build 1 or 2 houses a year. Go look up Arnold Schwarzenegger. What did he do before he became a multi-millionaire actor? Yes, he was bodybuilding, but he took that money. He had a construction company where they picked up junk. And 2, he bought so much real estate that he was a multi-millionaire in real estate in California before he even did his first movie. See, y'all keep talking about all these negative parts of real estate, and I kind of giggle and laugh because I realize you're being brainwashed to own nothing. You're being promoted to own nothing, do nothing, say nothing, complain all day, be on the internet complaining and crying and whining, and never invest. And that's okay, but I want you to know the numbers, and don't say I never didn't educate you on what the numbers are. And why I move the way I move, why I pivot the way I pivot, why I'm like buying land in a strange spot, or a town you never heard of, because it's the numbers. You're talking about 20 to 100% returns on your money. Then you're talking about there's plenty of hard money lenders still investing, so This whole the sky is falling doesn't work on me. So anyways, you guys, this is your girl Ericka Classic Climb Blog. This is just me responding to like about 7 or 8 of your questions in the chat. If you got lost anywhere in this video, please rewind. Don't ask me to clarify, just rewind the video and watch it again. It's the number one thing you can do to help yourself is re-watching videos, rereading books, educating yourself. How are you going to win? If you don't read, you're not. Okay, so this is just the number one thing out here when I see a lot of complaining, and I'll do a whole little video on that. But anyways, you guys, this is your girl Ericka Classic Climb Blog, still on vacation. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for supporting this channel. Thank you for being here. We had an amazing time in Panama, and we will have lots of video to come from that. Later.